Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, both for our radio audience here in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com. We're glad that you all could be with us. Also, tuning in through our friends at iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcast. We're glad you all could be with us as well. Well, a lot has been put on hold because of the pandemic, and while the last year and a half has been difficult for those planning a wedding, with nearly half of engaged couples delaying their celebrations, the wedding industry has adapted to embrace the new trends and traditions as well. Here to talk to us more about that, we're excited to welcome Claire Roche to our program. She's the owner of Grit and Grace Events. We're going to talk to her not only about how you can be able to go about planning a wedding for this year and beyond, but also some things you can get for more information as well. Claire, really appreciate the time today.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me. Always excited to talk about this.
Well, Claire, I think that's the thing. I think so many people are ready to move on with their lives, especially those who have planned on getting married. I've been noticing some of my friends been able to definitely adapt and still be able to have their ceremonies. But talk to us some of the challenges that you've been seeing that couples face, Claire, when it comes to planning a wedding during the pandemic.
Right, yeah, of course. I'm sure having friends getting married, you're seeing it firsthand, and it definitely varies by couple. But what I'm often seeing is that couples who have once envisioned, like most of us, a big wedding with lots of people and lots of specific pieces part of it, those things were not as much of an option in the last year and a half. And so we're seeing a lot of reducing the guest count and limiting it to family and close friends, and just generally re-envisioning the day as a whole. Again, things that were once just a given are now no longer something that were an option. So as a wedding planner, I became much more aware of my couple's needs and what they were wanting and what they valued, which opened up a lot of unique conversations for unique weddings, but definitely couples were facing not only the stress of planning a wedding, which in and of itself is quite a feat, but planning it in the middle of changing times and circumstances. So,
Claire, and that's such a great point. So you're the perfect person for us to be able to have to talk about something like this. So how has the industry overall, how has it adapted to embrace these new trends and celebrations so some of these couples can still be able to celebrate their big day?
Right, yeah. There has been quite a bit of adapting for sure. I mean, before there was really, we had a standard wedding that was expected, or most people chose that, and now everything is on the table, which I think is probably ultimately a positive thing. It resulted in a lot of changes and newness, which always can be hard. But we're seeing a lot smaller weddings, more intimate weddings, again, with just family and friends, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to cost less, right? Couples are interested in still probably investing similar amounts of money, not always, but often, and including more intentional elements. So there's some, that includes like favors that are customized, so customized blankets for their guests as they arrive. I'm seeing a lot more wedding weekends. So, you have 25 people invited to your wedding and it spans Friday to Sunday, because now you have the same budget but fewer people, and so you can include unique elements like customized napkins or a unique guest book or favors for your guests that otherwise may not have fit in your budget. And I think ultimately has allowed for a lot more creativity and ideas, which I think ultimately is a good thing.
Right. Claire, you mentioned budget, and I think the other thing that goes with this is timing as well, because as you said, there's a lot that goes into it anyway when it comes to planning a wedding. Discuss with us, if you don't mind, some of the concerns you've been hearing about the traditional things, like when to send out an Evite, or or when to be able to book a venue, or even to have vendors if you're going to have it.
Right, yeah. I think those questions are coming up more and more because 22 is going to be quite a packed year. There's a record number of weddings next year, and so we're seeing a lot of couples being more cognizant of starting and getting the ball rolling. And so what I really encourage is right off the bat when you get engaged is to celebrate, to enjoy it for what it is for a little while before you jump into planning. And then shortly thereafter, you're going to want to set a budget, because a wedding is the easiest way to spend all of the money. And so I encourage setting a budget that you feel comfortable with. And then the next step would be locking in a venue. Once you lock in a venue, you've locked in a date. And once you've got your date, then you can book a lot of your other vendors that you value. So a photographer, a florist, a videographer, so on and so forth. So I'd encourage that. And I'd encourage for invites and save the dates, especially because next year is going to be quite a full year of weddings. You want to be getting those save the dates and invites out. Shutterfly has some pretty amazing options online, so you're going to want to look at those save the dates as early as a year before the wedding, and then invites go out just a couple months before the wedding.
Well, Claire, this has all been some valuable information. As you said, we're not just talking about 2021. 2022 is literally right around the corner, so we're glad to have these tips today. Where can our audience go for more information?
You can go to shutterfly.com/wedding.
All right. Claire, thank you so much again for stopping by. Really appreciate all the helpful tips, and looking forward to having you back on the program again.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. Have a great day.
You as well. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Let's make today amazing. Take care.